Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Very excited for today's beer, as I always am. It is actually Chocolate Rain from the Bruery, which is basically Black Tuesday with vanilla and cacao nibs. This one comes in at 18.4% ABV, so it's definitely a sipper. And it's a 2015 edition. It's currently 2019. Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with cacao nibs and vanilla beans. It comes from TCHO, is where they get the cacao nibs. Chocolate Rain began as a single cask of beer at our very first beer event for Black Tuesday back in 2019, and now has a storied history of its own. This ale will age gracefully if cellared properly, but the chocolate and vanilla flavors will be the most prominent when consumed fresh. So those probably have died down some. Hopefully the alcohol taste has died down. I think it was from the same year. I had this about a year and a half ago, and it was still hot. My friend Jim and I both agreed that it was still it's hard when it's 18.4% ABV. It's probably going to be a little hot. Typically, I like Black Tuesday with some real age on it. So, hoping that waited long enough to have this one. Using a smaller glass to kind of help curb drinking too much. Once I do this review, I'll definitely be capping this beer and enjoying it slowly throughout the day. About 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, again, I will definitely be sipping this. Already, you can get some booze and chocolate. Kind of smells like chocolate liqueur already. Yeah, not surprising. It's very dark black. I guess if I'm looking for it, I can find a little bit of brown. But yeah, it's pretty dark, which is not super surprising. The head's going down quickly. Not that there was a ton to begin with. About half a finger still against the glass. And somewhere in that khaki, between khaki and mocha, whatever that term should be. I'll have to expand my vocabulary when it comes to colors. But yeah, it looks like a big stout. Let's get into a proper aroma. Getting a lot of stuff going on. Dark chocolate for sure, not surprising there. The vanilla, the real vanilla, but also some of that barrel vanilla. There is a big dark fruit component, which is very pleasant. Plum, raisins, some cordial cherry vibes in there, like the chocolate covered cherries. Definitely has that. Getting the wood specifically. You get the bourbon. It's so obvious that this has that spirit element. It's a really pleasant aroma. I'm gonna say it's definitely as advertised. Like the things that the adjuncts that are in it, the bourbon, the cacao nibs, and the vanilla all coming through, and then you get that awesome dark fruit as well. So yeah, they all place nothing super sticking out to me. I guess they all are pretty in balance with one another. They're all about the same level of coming through. Very rich brownie batter. Let's get into the taste. Cheers. Good news. Incredible amount of warmth without burning. Until that very end. Okay, at the very, very, very end, then I get a little bit of what I would call burn. But until that, it's interesting. On the palate, I don't get it. But on my chest, I'm feeling it. And it was, wow, at the very end of it going down. So yes, from what I recall, 18 months ago, when I wrote it Untapped, that it was hot, it has definitely cooled down, but it's still hot. Again, not surprising. These Black Tuesdays and something like this, it's a Black Tuesday adjunct. They're going to be hot, fresh. Even this many years out, they're still going to have some of that heat. But good news, it is totally approachable for my palate. Taste follows the nose quite a bit. I get that berry component. I get definitely the chocolate covered cherries, which I love those. I get those a lot for Christmas because people know how much I like those. The vanilla for sure. That bourbon is strong and present. Let me another swig, and I spent so much time talking about the heat. I just want to get really accurate what it actually tastes like. I mean, again, it follows that aroma so much. You get that chocolate liqueur, almost like if you put use like bourbon for your liquid making brownies. Like it has that taste for sure. I know some people who make like they'll use like Bourbon County and they'll use that in brownies and make like a Bourbon County frosting. I've not made that yet. I don't know why I clap so loud for that. But it definitely has that brownie bourbon taste. Again, the vanilla for sure. Real vanilla, the vanilla from the oak. I can see how that would have died down over time. It's not as pungent as the chocolate is on my palate. It's definitely. Actually, I said this about the barrel-aged tiramisu from Trillium and Jay Wakefield. It's both syrupy and a little oily. I would say more syrupy than oily, but they're all right. Maybe my palate's changing because I never really associate those two things in the same beer, but I have recently with two. Get some blueberries in there, dark chocolate, which I probably said, which is not surprising given the cacao nibs. And it kind of like, this beer reminds me why something like blueberries work really well with dark chocolate, or well, cherries obviously, and something like those berries though. It's really good. This is a strong offering, and I'm glad it's been aged for so many years. Now, I'm not noticing, probably my body's getting used to, I'm not noticing a burn, but I am tasting a little bit of that alcohol that I didn't initially on my palate. So it's kind of interesting how it's flopped in terms of the alcohol specifically. At first, I did not taste it, but it had more of that warmth. Now I'm not getting that warmth at all, and definitely not burn in my chest. But my palate, I get a little bit of that. So now it kind of reminds me of like those candies that are chocolate on the outside, and then inside they have some sort of liquor or liqueur. With all these other things I'm talking about, if you can't tell from how much I'm describing this beer, there's a lot going on. For me, it works very well. We're coming off of, it's springtime finally, so I've been drinking a lot of big, dark beers for a lot of months with the winter weather. So I'm coming off of that. So, maybe I'm a little bit more acclimated for something this high ABV and that amount of alcohol in here. So I'm going to assume for people who are like me, it'll be no problem. People who don't approach things quite this big, at least often, this might seem a little bit more alcoholic to you for sure. But yeah, I'm curious. Have you ever had Chocolate Rain? What are your thoughts? Years, vintages, aged or not aged? I'm super curious because I think compared to like my Black Tuesday experiences, my Mocha Wednesday experiences, this one is not as good as those. And that's saying a lot because I'm really enjoying this beer actually. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. I always appreciate that. If you haven't yet, check me out on Instagram and Untapped. No hype beer reviews at both those places. So always please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.